maybe I'll just start with some general introduction. So, yeah, good morning, everyone. So, we are working on Anudesh, and it's a platform for data annotation for large language model specific data. So, you must have been doing some work on, for example, let's say, uh, this Notion documents, or let's say some other Google Sheets or something for collecting the data. So, we have built this platform as the basic version to collect all the data on ease and increase your productivity for collecting this data and keep the data organized. Maybe I'll just maybe ask Sagarika to share her screen, and maybe she'll be the one giving a demo to all of us for the platform. There might be some, let's say, some complexities and some very naive things to understand. What we'll do is we'll give you a brief demo about what the platform is all about, and then come to how you can work on it. And in between, we'll pause for a couple of minutes for you to ask some questions. So let's say if you are feeling anything complicated, or let's say you're not able to understand things, in the longer run, you will be able to understand it when you start using the platform. But for now, if you have any doubts, you can just raise your hand over here in this meeting. So there's this hand raise option. You can raise your hand, and then we pause in between, let's say after some time, to take questions from you. So yeah, over to you, Sagarika. Maybe you can just share your screen and start with the sign in flow, and then followed by how users can go to some projects, what is a project about, and how they can start working on something. Yep. In between, let's say if required, I'll take over for more explanation. Good.
Okay, sure. So hi
Thank you,
everyone.
Ishwandar. Sagarika, just a second. I'm not sure if everyone and all of the interns had read the message that I sent in the group. Just watch very keenly when Sagarika is taking you through the demo, because like Safi and I mentioned in one of the previous calls, currently you're all working on Notion, right, to complete all your prompts. But now that Anudesh is almost ready for testing, soon you will all have a login. You will have your login details, and we'll start collecting prompts in this tool, and we will slowly stop the tables that you're working on in Notion, right? So just watch keenly, and as Ishwinder said, raise your hands if you have any questions at a later point, and they'll clarify all your questions. But this is what you will be shifting to soon, and it's still in a testing phase. So there may be small issues that we face, but we want you all to help us during this phase to identify any issues with the tool, so that the whole team can help us resolve it, and then we can start doing all of the prompt data collection in this tool in a little while. Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to give you a short brief before Sagarika started. Yeah. Thank you, Sagarika. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So hi everyone. So as Ishwinder said, so Anudesh is mainly designed to maintain and organize the data. So I'll start up with the sign up page. So this is the sign up page. Like I'll log in directly. Like I'll say how you are invited to it and how you can join. So here after you join, like it will be directed to this page. In organization, inside the members tab, we have this invite users to organization. So here we can type your email IDs, and you can select your role. So we have the 6 roles. So admin, normally they can um, like they can allocate the jobs to everyone. Annotator, reviewer, and super checker, they will check the flows, and workspace manager and organization owner. So you can select your roles accordingly, and you can type your email ID. After it is done, then you can add it. So the link will be generated to your email ID. So using that link, you can directly come to the invite page. There you can fill the details. I can show in the Notion document. So here, similar to this, you can fill your details and you can join. So if you forgot your password, then you can click on forgot password and it will be giving the reset link to your mail, and using that link you can reset it.
Okay. Yeah. So this process is for, let's say, when the managers will be inviting you as an annotator to this particular platform, then they will follow this process and invite you as, let's say, annotator or a reviewer, or let's say there are multiple roles in the platform uh, to which you will be invited as. Now, after you are invited, then you will be getting to view a particular page on your, let's say, after you're invited, you will get a sign up link. Using that sign up link, you will sign up and create an account. And using those credentials, you will be logging into this URL, which is called dev.anudesh.ai4bharat.org, which we will share in a document along with the steps that we discussed. Right. So this is the very first step to log into the platform and getting to view what work is available to you. Yeah. So up next, maybe Sagarika, you can open Anudesh as an annotator role and show them, let's say, what will be visible to them to work on. So this was mostly the administrative part. Now you will be looking at what are the things that will be visible to you. So yeah, over to you, Sagarika.
So I don't have this annotator thing.
Yeah, that is fine. Maybe you can
Like
just
I
open the.
show the
Uh,
yeah, normal thing for how it is look when.
okay.
Maybe you can share the credentials.
Um, yeah, okay, one second.
So normally it will look like this. So if anyone has any projects allocated, I'll come to that later, but the page will look like this only. If anything you after you joined in, it will look like this.
Uh, okay. Um, yeah. Um, yeah, Sagarika, maybe you can just log in with the admin account and then uh, go to the home page, project page. Yeah, so to give everyone a brief about what a project here is. So let's say you will be working on different set of tasks. Now let's say consider that you're working on collecting, let's say creating these conversations in, let's say, for a particular type of instructions. For example, the instruction can be related to let's say cooking, right? So we will be creating a project which will be containing all the instructions related to cooking. So a project is basically a collection of multiple tasks, and inside a project multiple people can work. So Sagarika, can you open any of this instruction driven chat page project? Yeah. So if you click on, let's say, open some project, no, just scroll up once, go back and scroll up to that project dashboard. Yeah. So whenever you open a project, you will land to this kind of a screen. This is called a project dashboard. Here you will see multiple details. So there is this unique project ID, which is, let's say, 54 ID for this particular project. Then there will be some description written by the manager. Then there will be this project type. So this project type is basically instruction driven chat, which is basically we allow users to, let's say, have this thing. An instruction will be given and you will be chatting with the LLM. Yeah, sorry. So after this, you will see, let's say there are a number of unassigned annotation tasks in this project. Now, if you are added as an annotator to this project, you will, so you are looking at this number 65, right? Unassigned annotation tasks. So there are many number of tasks which are present in this particular project where you can work on. So now let's say a team of 5 members is added to this project. They will be pulling tasks one by one, and out of these 65 tasks, people will be assigned tasks. So if, let's say, for example, if I click on this pull new batch button, Sabrika, can you click on pull new batch button? So now we have pulled 5 more tasks. Can you refresh this page, Sagarika? Yeah. Now, after pulling 5 tasks, now I can see that 5 more tasks are assigned to this person who has clicked on pull new batch. Now, Sagarika, if you click, scroll to the top. Yeah, so now this unassigned annotation tasks have come to count as 60. right? So this is basically 5 tasks out of that bucket. 65 tasks is assigned to this user. Now similarly, let's say you have your own account and you are also added to this project. When you click on pull new batch, out of this bucket some task gets assigned to you. Now all these tasks will be visible to you in this task table. Now Sagrika, if you scroll down a little bit, yeah, so over here all these tasks are present. Now there is a, let's say, brief description about this task. So there is this instruction given, let's say what is the LLM model that you will be interacting with, and there is some more details about this task, right? And some examples given, some instruction given, right? So all these things are given for each task. Now if you scroll to the right, Sagarika, now what you can do is you can annotate this task by clicking on this annotate button. So if you click annotate button, Sagrika, can you do that? Yeah. So it will be this kind of an interface where you will be seeing multiple number of buttons on top. Then there will be an instruction visible to you. Then there will be this text box where you will be typing your prompt. Now, if you see, read this instruction, for example, imagine you are talking to an Indian chatbot that specializes in completing movie plots. This chatbot can help you develop story lines for movies. So based on this interaction instruction, we will have to chat with the large language model. So in this particular instruction, your job is to interact with the chatbot to provide your intention and domain to complete your movie plot. Please make your instruction in your local language and local script. Right? So all these details are given, and there will be an example also given, and using which we will have to interact with the chatbot. Right? So for example, let's say just for example, Sagarika, can you copy this example prompt? Just copy this example prompt. Just remove this user. Just start from hey. Just start copying from hey. Yeah, paste it over here. Yeah, just remove this user. Yeah, so this is for sample purpose that we have copy pasted the same example, but you will have to write your own custom prompt, right? Whenever you write it, Sagrika, can you click enter now? Yeah, so the message will go to the large language model, and a response will come up. So this way you will have to create chats based on this given instruction. So this is the main purpose of sole purpose of this particular interface. And yeah, it will take some time. So now the chatbot has responded with this response. And now let's say you have completed this thing. You can just, Sagrika, can you scroll up? And yeah, now you see multiple buttons on top. Let's say, let's consider this interaction is completed. So for further guidelines on this, let's say how you will have to write this prompt, what should be there and what should not be there. So for example, let's say in this prompt instruction, it was written that you will have to make the interaction in your local language, but we added this in the English language only, right? So this is incorrect, but we are just showing it for demonstration purposes. Later on, when you are really working, you will have to follow the guidelines which are given in the instruction properly, right? Now let's consider the instruction is completed, and we have created this interaction with the LLM based on this interaction instruction. Now so this is one task which you have completed. Now in order to submit this task, there are multiple buttons present on top. So there is this draft button. So draft button will change this task to draft. Let's say when for future changes, let's say you have not completed this interaction, you want to intermittently save it, then you can click on draft button. If you, let's say, don't want to save it at all, then you can click on next button. If you, let's say, you feel, let's say, there is some error in this instruction, or let's say something is not correct, then you can click on skip button. Similarly, let's say if you want to rewrite the complete chat, right? Let's say you want to rewrite the complete chat, then you can click on this clear chat button. Now let's say this complete chat is let's say cleared, right? Now Sagrika, can you just paste that message once again? um, yeah, just remove this user too also. Yeah, this is fine. Okay. Hmm. So now this has, the response has been generated. Now consider that we want to save this chat. Then you can just click on this update button. Sagrika, can you click over there, update button? Yeah. So now this task is completed, and it has got saved. Now all the work that you have done in this particular task has been completed. Now you can go to the next task by either going back to the project and then selecting the next task, or you can just click on this next button to come to the next task. Sagarika, can you click on next? Whenever you click on next button, the next task which was there in the task table that you had, it will pop up and new instruction will be given to you. Now this was the basic workflow. If you, I'll just stop here for a moment and ask everybody if you have any let's say questions, any clarity on this so far, and if you have any questions on this. Mm. Okay. Please feel free to ask any questions. So this might not sound very, let's say, frequently used thing to you. So let's say if you have any questions, yeah, Sumit, you have some question. Yeah, please go ahead.
I have a doubt that it's showing skip. What is the meaning of skip? The question will be skipped or it will be coming up in future, like
Huh.
instruction.
Yeah, the thing is, these are task statuses. So now let's say we had, let's say, for example, 10 tasks assigned to you. So there will be multiple statuses that these tasks will be transitioning from. For example, let's say, Sagrika, can you go back to project once? Yeah. Can you click on this filter? Annotation? Yeah. So what happens is initially any task that you pull will be unlabeled because you have not really labeled anything. You have not really annotated anything in the data. Now you have multiple options to save this task into multiple states. When you click on update button, for example, then the task will go to labeled state. Sagrika, can you click on labeled and click apply? Yeah, so the task that we submitted, all those will be added to this labeled state. Similarly, let's say if you have anything, let's say drafted or skipped, so you can click on draft if you have, let's say, not completely completed a task, but you want to work on it later, complete it later, and then submit it as labeled. The second thing is skipped. Skipped is basically when you feel, let's say, based on the guidelines, if you feel that instruction itself is incorrect. So because this chat is based on the instruction, if you feel, let's say, this instruction is incorrect, let's say as per the guidelines, this should, let's say something should not be there in the instruction. In that case, you can skip the task. So that task will not be counted towards your, let's say, clean data. So you can just state that the input instruction was itself was incorrect, and you just skip the data based on some guidelines. So based on multiple things, you can skip a task, or let's say set it as draft, or label it, or initially it will be in unlabeled state. So using this button over here on top right of the table, you can filter by these task statuses. Let's say if you clicked on draft button for some task, then everything that you saved as draft will be shown in if you select over the draft filter over here. Right. So that is the case. Yeah, Ayush, you have some doubt?
Yeah, thank you so much. Morning, everyone. So basically, whenever I write a prompt in any Indic language assigned to me, I have to type that prompt in the chat box and then press the update button to update the prompt, right? This is the process
Mhm.
for final submission.
Correct.
Okay, so
Yeah,
what if,
correct. Correct.
just in case, if I write a certain prompt and the chatbot is not able to, let's say, deliver a proper answer to that prompt? So what will happen in
Mhm.
that condition?
Huh. Yeah, so in that case, so there are two things. Over here, we are mostly collecting the prompts. So we do not have, let's say, any requirement right now to edit the output by the LLM. Now, in this case, there are two things which need to be addressed in this question. First thing is writing in the native script. So we have this feature called transliteration. Sagrika, can you turn it on and then refresh this page? Yeah, just turn on global transliteration and select the language as Hindi maybe once. Yeah, now can you refresh this page? Yeah, so after you refresh the page, in any text box that you're typing, Sagrika, can you type, let's say, hello, maybe just type hello. Okay, this is not fixed. Maybe, yeah, can you select this hello? Yeah, we'll just fix this. So it's a drop down which shows to the bottom and all the options are not available. Yeah, we'll fix this bug. So this way you can type in Indian languages, let's say in your native script. So that is the first thing to be addressed. Second thing is, let's say when you are expecting the LLM to answer, let's say if you send this hello, Sagrika, can you send hello? Let's say you were expecting some other answer by the LLM. That is okay. We will save this as an interaction. Later on, we will have other project types. So this is instruction driven chat page project type, which is for interacting with the LLM. We will have other project types where we will be able to edit the output by the LLM, or let's say we'll be able to evaluate the prompt and output pairs, let's say in a particular instruction. So there will be multiple project types where you will be working on different sorts of annotation processes. So this one is the first step, which is towards creating the interactions. Then using this interaction, we will be evaluating multiple LLMs. For example, this interaction is done with GPT 3.5, for example. Right? Now, let's say we created some LLM in-house, let's say built by AI4Bharat team. Let's consider we are interacting with it and the responses are not fine. Then we will have different project types to judge those things on various parameters. For those purpose, we will have different types of interfaces and different project types. So this project type is only for interaction collection purposes. Ayush, does this address your question?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, any other questions, anyone? Okay, okay, cool. Yeah,
Ishwan,
this is,
sorry, it's not really a
yes.
question. I just want to tell you the intern group. Um, normally, right now, when you're working in Notion, uh, this is what you're doing. The instruction based prompt collection is what you're working on currently in Notion, right? So it looks a little different here because this is the expanded version of the task that is assigned to you in Notion. So in Notion, all you will find is the intent, which is maybe like 2 or 3 word phrase. Then you find the domain, which is the topic that you have to cover, and then you find the language. So here, what you find under the instruction is an expanded version. It's expanding and explaining to you what we mean by the intent, the domain, and what is the language that you have to address. But you see the little light bulb next to the instructions. Sagarika, can you just click on the hint? And can So if you scroll down, you can see the intent, the domain, and language. Right. So this is what you would find in the Notion table that you're working on currently. This is the shorter version. And what you find under the instructions box in the main page is the expanded version, which explains to you. So remember when you were working on Notion, I said if you have any doubts about the intent that you're trying to address, you visit the guidelines document that was initially shared with you, right? So here, what we have done is we've kind of mentioned whatever is mentioned in the guidelines document for each task. So it makes it a lot easier for you. So just keep that in mind. It's exactly the same thing that you've been doing in Notion. It's just an expanded version of that to help you out further so that you have clarity on what we mean by the intent and the domain. And again, just to summarize what Ishwander said, that addressed Ayush's question, don't bother what the response that ChatGPT or the tool gives you. Just focus on the prompt that you enter. So all you have to do is read the instruction. If you want a summarized version of what we are expecting from you, click on the hints button and the light bulb, and you can see what the domain, the intent, and the language specified is. And if your language is pure Indic, so if you're working on Hindi or Marathi prompts, and you want to type pure Indic language, go to the top, the settings, and turn on transliteration. Choose the language that has been assigned to you, and type in the box. So that makes it a lot easier. I know currently you face some difficulties when you are trying to enter the pure Indic prompts because you have to use a different software or a different tool to type the language in its original form and then copy and paste it to Notion. So this makes it a lot easier for you in the tool. Whereas if the assigned language to you is Indic plus code English mixed, then that means you have to type in English itself, but the script is but the language is your Hindi or Marathi, whatever is assigned to you. In which case you turn off the transliteration and you just type. So just focus on the prompt that you are entering and don't look at what the response the ChatGPT gives you. That's for a later phase. We might need the responses. You might need to maybe alter the response or evaluate the response, but don't look at that at the moment. And after you've typed the prompt and entered and it's given you a response, if you feel like okay, you need to make some correction in the prompt, you've not done it right, just clear chats, the button on top next to update, the one to the left of our update, you click on that and it'll clear the chat and you can re-enter. But if you feel it's all right, it's perfect,
Either you
just
can
click
just
on the
click on this
update.
clear. Yeah, one thing to be added. Either you can just click on this clear chat to let's say delete all everything, or you can just use this delete button if you want to specifically delete a particular prompt and output pair.
So you have two
Yeah.
options to delete the chat if you want to redo the prompt. So when Ishwanda mentioned that it's sort of like an interaction, at this stage, currently we're only looking at a single prompt and a single response. Actually, not even the response, just a single prompt. But again, at a later stage, we may be looking at interactions where you're saying a hello, and then there's a response, and then you're responding to the response, and then there's another response in ChatGPT. But for the time being, we're only focusing on the single prompts that you enter. Okay, even though we say that it's an interaction. So just read the instruction, enter your prompt, and then update if you feel it's correct. Okay, it's as simple as that. We hope that's clear for all of you.
Okay. Good. Yeah. Thanks, Aswati. Yeah. Are there any other questions so far in this flow, or shall we move to the next step? Okay. I consider this as everything is clear so far. If you have any questions, you can still ask in the chat, or let's say just raise your hand. Yeah. So I'll just jump on to the next step, which is tracking your progress. We covered this basic step, what is a project, and how can we really work on, let's say, inside a project on multiple tasks, and we can do multiple things with the task. Let's say entering some text, doing some transliteration, and then shifting tasks to various task statuses, which is draft, skip, update. Let's say when you click on update, it goes to the label state. Then yeah, Sagrika, can you click on this back to project button? Yeah. So now over here you see these few buttons. Sagrika, can you scroll down a bit? Yeah. So there are these buttons. Yeah, scroll up. Yeah. So there are these buttons. Deallocate task. No, Sagrika, can you scroll up a bit? Yeah. So this is deallocate task button. So let's say you have pulled a lot of tasks and now you will not be working on this project anymore, and you want the task to be available for others to be pulled. In that case, you can deallocate your set of tasks. If you click on this deallocate task button, all the tasks which are currently shown in the task table, let's say if it's draft task, or let's say skip task which may have opened, all those tasks will be deallocated from your pool, and they will become available for others to pull again. Now this is one thing. Second thing is, let's say you are doing this task in a very good speed, and you want many more tasks to be pulled in one go, then you can change this pull size and then click on pull new batch. Then let's say currently it's by default selected as 5. Now let's say you want to pull 15 tasks in one go, then you can just select this pull size accordingly and then click on pull new batch. So that's the second thing. Third thing is the start labeling now button. So what happens is, either, so there are two ways to navigate to that task page, interaction page. One is using that annotate button when you go to the task table and scroll to the right, and then you see this annotate button. Or the second way is using the start labeling now button. So the start labeling now button helps, let's say, when you click over it, the very first task in this task table will be open to you. And when, let's say, you add something in the interaction and then click on update button, the next task automatically gets opened to you in the interface. So you won't have to click next button again and again to open the next task. So that should be fine, right? So currently, let's say this is task ID 1494, for example. Now let's say if you just Sagrika, can you just enter hi or something and then submit this task? Yeah, just submit this task. Hmm. Yeah. So now the next task which was there in the queue, 1495, that gets popped automatically. You won't have to bother about going to the next task. So that is something which might be helpful to you. Yeah, Sagarika, can you go back to the previous page now? Back to project. Yeah. now there are a few more things to support you. Let's say in case of now, let's say you have worked on n number of tasks and you want to track down the progress, like how many tasks have you submitted for today. For that case, you can go to this reports tab. Yeah, over here you can just click submit button. Let's say so you can let's say if you're added as an annotator, then only you can just click on submit, and or let's say pick dates. Let's say you want to track progress of a particular day, or let's say a particular week in the past or something. Then you can just click on this submit. You will get a the complete sense of how much average time did you took for each task, then how many tasks are currently unlabeled assigned to you, how many tasks are skipped by you, how many tasks are labeled by you. And then there is a separate flow, which is a reviewer flow and a super checker flow. Now all the tasks which you have labeled will be available for a reviewer to be pulled, and they will be making modifications accordingly. That flow will maybe elaborate a bit later once you're comfortable with this basic flow. Yeah, I think that's all which covers up this basic flow. Then there are other additional things as well, which is, let's say, Sagarika, can you go to the profile page? Yeah, so over here you can go to your profile page, you can edit your details, let's say first name, last name, all these things. Then can you scroll up, Sagarika? Yeah, yeah, just go back. Now go to the my progress page. Yeah, so can you go to the my progress page? Yeah, so this is the page which you will be where you track your progress. Now let's say in this left side, all the recent tasks you may have done will be populated over here. I think there's some issue right now in the left side. And then over here, if you select any project type and then click on submit, you will get to see the progress of your work across multiple projects. So let's say you may have worked on one particular project. There might be multiple projects. I think this page needs some fixing, so we'll just do that, and then you will be able to see those things, like those details. So yeah, I think that's the basic walkthrough that I would say, basic demo that is done. If you have any questions regarding this thing, do let me know. Let's say you can just raise your hand, or later on also you can write to us. And yeah, okay. Yeah, Sarika, I think you can stop sharing the screen. Yeah.
Okay, we hope there aren't
Yeah.
any questions.
Any questions?
Like Ishwinder said, once you start using the tool, there may be questions, so you may have doubts, which can be clarified as we go. But slowly you will get comfortable with the tool and get a lot easier.
Okay, so maybe we'll do one thing. We will send you invites as a annotator to this platform, and then you will be using it for all the work that you were doing, and side by side it will also get tested. We would really like you to, let's say, spot some bugs. Let's say something is not working very smooth at some particular action, the platform is getting hanged or something like that. So if you have any, let's say, if you spot any bugs, do report it to us. We will try to fix those as soon as possible to make this a stable version for, let's say, future purposes. And yeah, I think that's all. Yeah, do you want to add anything, Parno?
Hey, no, I don't.
Okay, good. Cool. So as for the, yeah, maybe as next step, maybe you can just connect with folks, and also share their email addresses. We'll just invite them, and then we'll ingest some data. And first we'll start some testing, like testing the basic flow, and they will get comfortable with what they will have to do. Then we can ask them to work on the real data that will be getting saved, and yeah, that should be good. So till then they can, like, let's say,
Yeah,
take a
sure.
day to explore the platform.
Okay. So
Yeah,
I'll share
Ayush,
the
you have
email
some.
ID. And Safi had shared a set of data to be uploaded. I was not able to upload it. I think something to do with the template or maybe the format. So if you can just see what's wrong with it successfully update one set and share a template with me, it'll be a lot easier for me from next time to do it accordingly. So I'll share
Sure,
whatever
sure.
Safi shared with me. Yeah.
Uh, Sure, sure. Just share it. I'll check it out, and if there is anything, we can just connect over a huddle to discuss that after.
Sure, sure. Okay.
Yeah. Ayush, do you have any doubts? Please go ahead.
Yeah, the thing is the basic project page that was present over there. There was one section pending tasks which had 65 number of pending tasks as you had shown in the screen sharing. So are those tasks allotted for a single person individually on his or her account or for the entire LLM team, like at the same time?
Huh. Yeah, yeah. So this is a pool, a bucket which is available to all the people who are added to that project. So let's say in a single project, there might be 10 people added. For example, let's say 10 people are working on the same project and they are pulling tasks simultaneously. So the objective is all the 10 people will have to finish those 65 tasks, for example. Right? They can be around 2000 tasks, for example, in a project. So all the 10 people will be pulling, let's say someone pulls 10 tasks a day, for example, or let's say someone pulls, let's say 50 tasks a day. So this is just the task allocation strategy to ensure that everybody can pull tasks on their pace. So this 65 means it is available for anybody to pull. Now let's say you pulled 5 tasks today. Now it is 65. Now tomorrow, let's say if all 10 people pull five tasks today. Now tomorrow the number will show to you as, let's say, 15 pending tasks, right? So it is available to all the annotators who are added to this. So once this gets zero, then this project is completed, and then you can go on and move to another project which may have other tasks available. Yeah.
Okay, so another like added question comes to my mind. Imagine if I allocate tasks to myself and I get, let's say, intent summarize the given article. The intent for my prompt is summarize the given article. And what Ashwati ma'am had told to me is every individual working in the LLM prompt team will have a certain set of 280 prompts. Okay, so if I write the given prompt for summarize the article, the other person in my team won't get that particular prompt, right? He won't get the
Mhm.
prompt for summarizing the article. So won't
Yeah,
that
correct.
state individual set that has been assigned?
Correct. So there are a couple of things over here. So it boils down to the objective that we are going to follow for a project. There are cases that we might require multiple annotators to submit same task. So that is under development right now. We are working on creating that flow. Let's say the same instruction can be um assigned to multiple people in a project. Currently we support only one person can do one single instruction. Let's say now let's say there are 100 instructions, different instruction. For example, one of those was summarize this thing, right? Summarize this particular passage. Now if let's say that task has been assigned to you, then only you will be able to work on it as an annotator. Then similarly, let's say out of those 99 pending tasks, they will be assigned to different set of people, whichever, let's say, pull it, right? So it's a random distribution strategy which will be followed right now.
Okay, sure. Yeah, thank you. That's all from my side.
Okay, okay, cool. Yeah, any other questions, anyone? Okay, good. Yeah, so one more thing, Ashwati. So yeah, one thing is maybe you can share everybody's email IDs. Maybe we'll just send them invites. Second thing is maybe you can share the data. I'll try to ingest it, and maybe I'll just connect with you sometime to explain, let's say, the format that might be, let's say, the changes which might be required for, let's say, later purposes. Yeah. So
Okay.
the third thing is, let's say, I wanted to check like if everybody is available on Slack, or let's say what is the communication process for reporting bugs.
So right now we have a Slack channel. So maybe for Anudesh, maybe we can create another channel with all of this, all the interns, so that communication regarding the tool and any bugs can happen through Slack. Everyone's available on Slack.
Okay, sure, sure. So maybe I'll just create a open channel, and then you can just share the link to that particular channel. Everybody can join the channel openly. So I'll just name it as Anudesh support.
Sure, sure. Okay, okay. Done.
Okay, cool. Cool then. So maybe I'll just share more details on that Anudesh channel itself. Anudesh support channel itself. And yeah, so maybe if you have any doubts, let's say anything, you can just post it anytime over that on that channel, and we'll be helping you out. Okay.
Sounds good.
Uh,
Thank
yeah.
you so much, Ishwinder and Sagarika and Aparna.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone.